And Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders deploying the National Guard in her state to help ICE operations, joining over a dozen states that are hopping on President Trump's immigration crackdown. And the governor joins us now. Great to have you. I want us to show up a map of all the states that have mobilized the National Guard in order to help ICE. So you can see this here. This is a map that will be of no surprise to you as a governor. And I'm curious from your perspective now, not as a former White House press secretary or a campaign spokesperson, but as a governor, how do you think about this maybe a little bit differently? And can you understand some of the Democratic governors who are reluctant to let this happen?
Sure. I think there's a big difference between what we're doing. The focus is on safety and security. We finally have a president who cares about securing our border, who cares about removing violent repeat offenders. When I think about this and when I'm looking at whether or not we make a decision to engage and support these efforts, I think about Jennifer Ann Morton. She was a pediatric nurse here in our state who was killed by an illegal immigrant, a drunk driver, who was deported during the first administration and came back illegally during the Biden administration. That's how I am motivated to make these types of decisions, because I know that we have to focus on the safety and security of the people that we have been elected to serve. And now we actually have a president who's helping us and partnering with us to execute on that. It's crazy to me to look at what Governor Pritzker is saying. I don't know how he defines winning in Chicago, but it's certainly not the same way that the rest of us are looking at it. He cares more about protecting criminals than he does about protecting the communities in his state. And to me, that is a basic failure of being a governor. We have to step up. We have to do more. And now we have a president who's helping us do it.
The other thing that you did when you first got into office is that you read The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt. Of course, he's been a guest on our show as well. And he talks a lot about education, and he's in particular about cell phone use in the home, but in particular in schools. 31 states and the District of Columbia require school districts to ban or restrict student use of cell phones in schools. Now, yesterday we got the nation's report card, and Sarah, it was horrible. And I just can't imagine why you haven't heard anything from people screaming that this should be a national emergency. To me, at 8th grade science, only 31 proficient, 12th grade math at 22%, and 12th grade reading at 35%. Do you see a difference in Arkansas scores since you put in these restrictions on cell phones in the classroom?
Absolutely. And what we wanted to do was not just ban cell phones and take them out, but we also wanted to show the difference that it was making. And so we partnered with the University of Arkansas here to track the data to show the difference that removing the phone was having. We saw a 57% drop in behavioral problems in the classroom, 51% drop in drug usage at schools where they had removed phones. We've seen an increase in focus and retention and scores of our students where those phones have been taken out of the classroom. We're several weeks into the school year here in Arkansas. There's not a school I've been into over the last couple of weeks where teachers, principals, parents, even students are thanking us for removing phones from the classroom. Kids are talking to each other again at lunch and in the hallways, and they're paying attention in class. We have seen a massive decline in our student performance and our student scores. At the same time, we've seen a huge increase in the mental health problems, anxiety, depression, suicide rates skyrocketing, scores plummeting, a direct result of putting unfettered access and smartphones in the hands of kids constant and all day. And so removing that, I think, is going to make a really big difference in a lot of key areas for students across the country.
And then in addition to the phone issue, is there maybe one other thing that you would like to see done to try to get these scores back up?
You know, we've done a lot of different things. Education's been the top priority that I've had as governor. We focused heavily on literacy rates. We've hired 125 different literacy coaches directly by the state that are giving one-on-one attention to our students, helping us make up ground that was lost during COVID, and also just a lack of focus on literacy over the course of the last decade. We are going back to the basics and making sure our students are up to par. We also implemented implemented a policy that doesn't allow our third graders to move on to fourth grade unless they can hit that basic benchmark of reading at a third grade level. We know that is the most critical turning point. If a kid is not reading by the time they hit third grade, you are setting them up for a lifetime of failure. 70% chance they'll have a lifetime in poverty. And so that is a really critical key point, and that's where we're leaning in and putting a lot of emphasis and focus.
I say Arkansas is very fortunate to have you as their governor. I loved having you as a guest. I hope you come back soon. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dana.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.